So, a lot of you probably don't know this, but a few weeks ago, I resigned from my job at a law firm that I work at. I'm a family law attorney, of course. And so, when I moved to Denton with my husband, I started working at this firm that was mostly remote work, unless I was in court or we had like monthly meetings. So, I resigned from that job. I felt like God had told me that it was okay to resign at this point and that He had something different for me, something that was more suited for the season that me and my husband are in right now. And so I resigned, and I did it to where when I resigned, I would have like a few days off where I didn't have any job, any work to do, and I could just rest my mind, rest my body, rejuvenate myself, do some self care, do some of the things that I love, go for a walk, sleep in, not have to handle calls and emails and all of those things. But I just wanted like a little buffer time in between to where I didn't have any to-do lists or any things to do. I just was able to rest. So my last day at the job was on a Tuesday. And so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, up until the following Monday, I basically had off. And I'm thinking this is going to be great time. Like I'm going to get so much done, so much reading, so much exercise. I'm going to walk my dog that I don't typically get a chance to walk because I'm so busy with work and I'm just exhausted all the time, right? And that very first day when I woke up and I didn't have anything to do, it was actually a very rough day for me. And I was really kind of confused because I'm thinking, okay, this should be the best day of my life because I get to wake up and do whatever I want and I don't have any, deadlines or phone calls or meetings or things hanging over my head. But it was actually very hard. I felt very heavy. I felt very tired and exhausted. I remember talking to my husband that night and I was just telling him, man, I feel like I worked today. Like I'm not working anymore, but I feel like I still was working my job today, even though I didn't have anything to do. And he was talking to me about it and he shared with me, Jazz, I feel like when you left that job, you didn't really understand the toll it took on your body and on you mentally and physically. And so when that pressure lifted off of you, it really kind of showed you what the damage was that had been done. And that was so good to me. And I wanted to come on here and just kind of talk about it and chat with y'all about it because he's absolutely right. Like I don't know if you watch like medical shows and stuff. I am a like Grey's Anatomy fan, The Resident, any type of like doctor shows I'm in love with. And on Grey's Anatomy, they had this episode where I don't remember what it was that fell on top of the person. It could have been a car, it could have been like a pole, or just something really heavy fell on top of somebody. And I remember that their whole thing is that they can't immediately lift it off of the person. They have to like transport them to the hospital. They have to stabilize their neck in case there's an issue with the spine so they don't get paralyzed and all the things. So their main priority is not lifting that weight off first because if they lift the weight off too soon, it could cause a lot more damage. Because I actually looked it up. So please hold. So here's what AI said when I Googled it. Because I wanted to know if there was like an actual name for this or phrase or something for it. And it just says when a heavy object falls on someone, medical professionals cannot immediately lift it off due to several factors, primarily to prevent further injury and to allow for proper assessment and treatment. The immediate priority is stabilizing the patient and preventing worsening of potential injuries. And it says that the object's weight can compress tissues and the sudden movement can exacerbate damage. So, forceful lifting can cause other dislocations and injuries. And not that this was like a very forceful or a quick or swift move. Like I prayed on this, I thought about it, all of those things. But I don't think I really understood the toll it took on my body to have over 150 cases, to have court 4 times out of the week, if not every day, to have constant complaints and emails and phone calls and just doing all these things by myself when I should have been able to lean and depend on a team or a support of people to kind of help lift some of those burdens. I carried a lot on my own. And because I'm like a go getter and I am Miss Get It Done and I'm about my business, I just kind of like, just don't even think about it. I get my to do list done and then I relax at the end of the day and don't think about it. Then I wake up the next day and do it again. And I'm sure we can all relate that, like, this constant cycle of just work, 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 it really does take a toll on you mentally and physically when you actually sit down and you feel like rest is like illegal. Like rest hurts because you're so used to being busy and ripping and running all over town and all the things. Like I'm used to being busy all the time, so much so that it made it feel like rest was like not godly, even though rest is holy. Rest is so holy, so much so that God set an example for us in Genesis. After he finished creation, it says that on the seventh day, he rested. And it talks all throughout the Old Testament about how holy the Sabbath is and that God commanded his people to keep it holy because he's holy. So now I'm in a place where I'm learning to take care of myself and to not allow the pressure and the weights to get so heavy that if they were to be lifted off, I'm actually going to be harmed even more because of how heavy the pressure was. And now my body is not used to this lightness or this freedom that I feel. Like it's crazy to me that pressure felt normal and pressure felt like what life should feel like, but that's not God's plan for me. That's not God's plan for you to feel heavy in life, for you to feel like rushed all the time. Like it's not a God thing for you to feel like you've got to run from point A to point B and there's no rest in between or rest in the middle for you. There is rest for you and rest is holy. And so do not allow the pressure to become a home for you. Do not allow the weights to become normal for you, so much so that lifting them off will cause damage. So I'm just praying for you. I'm praying over you that you would take rest seriously, that rest will become holy to you, that rest will become a part of your normal routine, that rest would become a part of who you are, that you are a person of rest. Even Matthew says, come to me. Jesus said, come to me, all you who are weary and are weighed down by your burdens, and I will give you rest. And so I'm learning now in this season to go to the Lord and allow him to pour out rest upon me because I deserve that. And also, it's promised to me. It is my inheritance as a daughter of God that I should be able to rest and not have to, feel crazy running around trying to get things done. So take your rest because it's holy.